What's the worst way to spot a toxic relationship? My boyfriend used to make me apologize so much that sorry had become my most spoken punchline. I used to time my showers for when Nolan left for the gym because the sound of running water annoyed him. It's like nails on a chalkboard, he'd say, even from 2 rooms away. My friend Esme once asked why I whispered on our phone calls, and I couldn't explain that Nolan said my voice was too shrill whenever I got excited. When I cooked, I'd apologize preemptively for the smell, the sound of chopping, the cabinet doors closing. Nolan would sigh and say I was lucky he was so patient with me, that other guys wouldn't put up with someone so naturally annoying. Oh, the curse of a first relationship. Then one day, Esme invited me to her apartment for wine night while Nolan was out of town for work. I almost canceled 3 times, each text typed and deleted. Nolan always said my friends were toxic influences who enabled my worst qualities, but something about his empty side of the bed made me brave, or maybe just lonely. Esme's boyfriend Remy was there when I arrived, which made my stomach clench. I can go, I offered immediately, already backing toward the door. He's just leaving for poker night, Esme laughed, pulling me inside. But Remy was pouring wine for all of us, asking about my work, actually listening to my story about the nightmare client. He laughed at the right parts and asked follow-up questions. When Esme interrupted to add her own work horror story, he just smiled and said, "Babe, you tell it better," without a trace of irritation. 20 minutes in, Esme knocked over her wine glass reaching for the remote. Dark red Merlot spread across their cream carpet like blood. I froze, my body automatically bracing for impact. But Remy just said, "I'll grab the club soda," and kissed her forehead as he passed. No sighing. No, how could you be so careless? No silent treatment that would last 3 days. Esme wasn't frantically scrubbing while apologizing. She was laughing about being a klutz while Remy worked on the stain, and he was laughing too, telling me about the time he'd dropped an entire lasagna on the same carpet. When Esme got excited telling a story about her horrible boss, her voice got louder, more animated. Remy watched her with this soft expression, like her enthusiasm was something precious. "You're so cute when you're fired up," he said. Not, "You're being dramatic," or "Lower your voice," or "Why do you always have to be so intense?" When they disagreed about what movie to watch, Remy said, "You chose last time, but honestly, I'll watch whatever makes you happy." Esme put on some rom-com and Remy pulled her closer, playing with her hair. Halfway through, Esme said she was cold. Remy got up to get her favorite blanket without being asked, brought her tea without her mentioning it, remembered she liked 2 sugars and oat milk. "You're spoiling me," Esme said. "Good," Remy replied. When Esme started getting sleepy, slumping against Remy, he adjusted his position to make her more comfortable, even though his arm was probably falling asleep. He caught me staring and smiled. 3 years and I still can't believe I got this lucky, he said quietly, so as not to wake her. Before he left for poker, Remy did the dishes from dinner without being asked, took out the trash, and left a sticky note on the coffee maker that said, "Love you, beautiful," for Esme to find in the morning. "Drive safe," Esme called out. "Always do. Text you when I get there," he called back. No accusations about checking up on him. No, "Why don't you trust me?" Just easy care for each other's peace of mind. When I got home that night, Nolan was already back, sitting in the dark. "Where were you?" he asked, not looking up from his phone. I started to explain, to apologize, but stopped mid-sentence. "Esme's boyfriend brought her tea, you know," I said instead. Without her asking, Nolan snorted. "So he's whipped?" Pathetic. I looked at him then, really looked at him, at the man who'd trained me to move silently through my own life, to shrink myself into acceptable shapes, to apologize for existing too loudly. "No," I said, my voice steady for the first time in 2 years. "He just loves her." Nolan finally looked up, confused by my tone. "What's gotten into you?" I walked right past him without bothering to silence my footsteps. That night while Nolan slept, I silently packed my bags and left.